Hello and welcome to another Home Sold. My name is Steven.Verdelli and I'm a realtor with Coldwell-Banker here in Wellesley, Wellesley's #1 real estate firm for 23 years in a row. Today we have Chris Monahan with National Home Inspection Services of New England to discuss a home inspection and how that process goes. But first I want to talk to you a little bit about the seller's disclosure statement and refusal to sign description of property. Basically, your agent should give you these forms before you put your house up on the market, and I will have a copy of this form on my Facebook page at Another Home Sold. This gives the seller the opportunity to disclose anything in their home that's not functioning properly, a dishwasher, garbage disposal, anything like that that they want to disclose to the prospective buyers. This is not a bad idea to do this. Of course, you're not obligated to do it, but this will just clear anything out that is not operating properly and make it aware. So after the home inspection, which will obviously come through and a lot of these items are then going to be exposed, it just saves a lot of time and money on the end. What people can do is they can sign a refusal to sign disclosure statement, which means they're unaware of anything in their home that's not working properly. So at that point in time, it is the home inspector's job to come through and find these items to make sure not only the house is working properly, but to show new buyers how their home operates. Chris, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Well, thanks for having me, Steve.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Hey, and I like your tie.
Thank you.
By the way,
Thank
very
you
nice.
very much. Chris, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been practicing home inspections since 1980. I came into my father's company. My father, Philip Monahan, actually was an inventor of the home inspection and the founder of the American Society of Home Inspectors. And so it was sort of in my blood. I was a small developer. I owned 3 family and 2 family homes in Jamaica Plain and Rosendale and Brighton and things like that back in the early 80s. And so it was sort of a natural fit for me. I did a lot of work. I actually have a carpentry background. I helped build a town in Wyoming in the 70s. I know I'm dating myself. So it's just always been in my blood, and I love the job, and I've been doing it for 34 years, and I can't think of anything I'd rather do than this.
Wow, 34 years, is that it?
That's all, just 34. That's right. Yep, exactly. Learning more every day, by the way.
So truly, this is really a family.
Yes, I'm a second-generation home inspector, which not a lot of people get to say because the home inspection profession has not been around that long. Like as I say, my father started it in 1967. He was the first guy to ever really sort of do it professionally. So
ASHI, American Society of Home Inspectors.
Yes.
Your father actually was the founder.
Yes, my father was, well, it was founded by several people, but he was the original executive director of the American Society of Home Inspectors. He actually wrote the standards of practice for home inspectors when there was none. Wow. I remember him writing it at the kitchen table with my mother. They sat down and put pen to paper and decided the rules for doing professional home inspections. Nobody had ever done it before. So the American Society of Home Inspectors, everybody should know, because there are other associations out there, but the American Society of Home Inspectors really is the sort of gold standard for home inspectors. If you can get into this society, you've made it. It's difficult, it's complicated, it's a lot of testing, a lot of work, a lot of experience. It's not everybody gets into the American Society of Home Inspectors. Or the other associations, you simply have to write a check and you're in.
Well, that's a perfect question. What qualifications does somebody need to become a home inspector?
Well, first of all, the first thing you should know is that in Massachusetts, as in many states, there is a licensing requirement. So I can't speak for other states, but in Massachusetts, you have to apprentice under an already certified home inspector for quite a while. And I'm not, if you'll forgive me, but I don't remember the exact requirements, but you have to perform a certain amount of home inspections under the guidance of an already licensed inspector, and you have to take a test. You have to provide a certificate of insurance. You must be insured for errors and omissions in order to become a licensed inspector in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Interesting. So is there regulations?
Yes, there are regulations. They're actually available. If you search on Mass Home Inspectors, you can read all about them. But there are regulations for how we conduct our inspections. There's a standard of practice. And it's interesting that the state standard is sort of loosely based on the standard that is set forth by the American Society of Home Inspectors.
So we've decided that we're going to hire
circle.
a home inspector. So we've made sure that they are certified, they're insured,
Yep.
that they have a certificate.
Yep.
So what is the goal now that you show up at the house?
Okay, so I see my job, my primary function as a home inspector, as I see it, and I think most inspectors agree, is really to just really find out what's wrong with the house. Every house has its issues, little or big, minor, major, etc. So that's really the primary goal of a home inspection. But what I like to do, and I think other inspectors are similar to me, I can't speak for everybody, but I like to provide a little educational content along with showing my clients where the issues are and explaining what the problems are and how to resolve them. I like to teach them about the workings of their home, how the water main works, how the boiler or furnace works, how the heat pump works, what the roof, how the roof operates, how long a life it has, the type of siding that you have on the house can be an issue or not. Your foundation issues. There's a lot of components, obviously, in a home. Sure. So I like to educate my clients about everything. I mean, we talk about everything from dishwashers to disposers to gas stoves to exhaust fans to, as I said before, boiler systems, heat recovery ventilator systems, which we see nowadays in homes and homes that are very tightly built. All kinds of ventilation systems, insulation's a factor, types of insulations vary in level of insulation, etc. We measure our insulation. There's a lot. We talk about paint.
Yeah.
We talk about paint and stain and driveways.
So do you do a pre-inspection of sorts?
Well, oh yes, for cellars is what you're really referring to, I believe.
Well, I'm going to get to that, but
okay,
actually, if we're saying we're going to be inspecting this house at 100 Main Street,
okay,
you don't get into pulling plot plans. You're not a surveyor.
No, I don't think anybody does that. No, we set an appointment time. We arrive at the property. It's essentially a blank slate. I mean, perhaps I have, and in most cases I have, searched on it online to just get a little preview so I know what I'm sort of in for. But yeah, we show up cold with the buyer, with the broker or brokers, and we just go through it bit by bit. It's just a walking tour. That's
Chris, I'm a big advocate, as you know, of home inspections, both on the pre-side and then obviously for the selling side.
Sure.
What about new homes?
New
homes require inspections?
Last week, I inspected 5 brand new homes, still under construction, actually. One of them was very raw, in a very early state of construction. But yes, doing a home inspection for new construction is valuable, I have found, because everybody has. When you buy new construction, let me start at the beginning. When you buy new construction, there's a lot of components, and everybody, as the construction comes to a close and you're ready to move in, you need to be sure that it sounds silly, but you need to be sure that all the parts are there, and you'd be amazed. The builder makes a punch list. These are called punch lists. Little things that need to be done so the owner can move in. The buyer typically has their own punch list. They want to see certain light fixtures or mirrors or whatever, certain things in certain places. These are, a lot of cosmetic issues. And then I create my own punch list. And it's always interesting to see how these things intersect. But I'm amazed myself what the things we run into and the omissions, the things that just get overlooked by everybody because it's just not on their radar screen, or I don't know what it is. The builder's too close to the project, the buyer's too far away from the project, you know, and I just come in and I'm sort of that third party, disinterested third party is what I'm often called. And I just go in, as I say, cold and write it all down, and we create a punch list. And usually between the buyer's punch list, the builder's punch list, and my punch list, it all gets done.
So it's just as important to have a home inspection on a brand new home than it is a home that's 75 years old.
Yes, it is. Yes, the builder will provide you with a 1-year warranty. So to a certain extent, you're kind of covered if you're a buyer. But if you, I don't want to speak for all builders, but once the project's done, once you've closed, once you've moved in, and the builder's moved on to his next project, good luck trying to get him back to fix that little thing that, by the way, he's happy to do before you close, because he wants to make sure you close and it's done. After you've closed, you know, these guys are not easy to get. They're on another project. Their guys are all busy. You know, you want to catch these guys while they've got 6 guys running around the house doing things. That's when you want them. So
let's talk a little bit about somebody who's getting ready to sell their house, as I introduced at the show with these disclosure statements. You know, I'm a big advocate of this, and I know you are as well.
I am.
People doing a home inspection for themselves before their house goes on the market. Why is that so valuable?
Well, let me tell you about my experience yesterday in Wellesley, as a matter of fact, for a customer who is going to put his house on the market in the spring. Very savvy guy, an engineer actually, owns the house. Not you know, very into and loves his home. Lives in the house for 35 years. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but the amount of and the house is gorgeous, but the amount of stuff I came up with in this pre-market, is what it's called, inspection, shocked even me. Just with a little digging with my little screwdriver and my little flashlight and just poking around, I found leaks, I found rot, I found insect damage, we found some roofing that was on the verge, things like this, and he was so great. I can't believe he enjoyed the process, frankly.
Well, it's an educational process.
Whatever. But you know, he was happy to have the information, because you know what, he's going to straighten these things out, and when he brings the house onto the market, it'll be you know, as perfect as it can get. You know, and there won't be any surprises when the buyer has his inspection.
That's the purpose of doing it. Is to get these skeletons out of the closet, get things fixed, because it opens the door to a second negotiation, which nobody wants to go through.
That's right. These inspections that I do for buyers, if the seller doesn't know what they're in for, there are things that come up, not always, but occasionally, that are showstoppers. And all of a sudden, everybody's in a Twitter. Wrong word, but you know what I mean. Everybody's in, you know, it's a mess.
Everybody's in a bad mood.
Everybody's in a bad mood, right? Exactly. Everybody's in a bad mood, right? Exactly. It's no fun at all, and I don't enjoy it either. You know, buyers
are in a bad mood. Sellers are in a bad mood. Everybody's in a bad mood.
Right. Exactly.
And nothing's going to make it better.
Yeah, so I want to see it all work out for everybody.
Everybody does.
I like to.
I do too.
Right. I don't like to deliver bad news, but you know, it is what it is. So, anyways,
absolutely. Everybody likes to do that.
Yeah.
So have your homes inspected before they go on the market. It saves a lot of time in the end.
It's really a good idea.
It's a great idea. Well worth the money, I think. Yes,
and I want to mention, by the way, just on that subject, you know, I applaud Coldwell-Banker for providing these disclosure forms, because you know, not every real estate firm does them. This is not. If you go to other companies, they don't have disclosure forms. They don't do disclosure.
Well, you know,
I'm a big fan of full disclosure.
Yeah,
they should be.
It's a great form. You know, you can try and hide things, but they're always going to come out with the inspection, and it just, you know, bottlenecks at the end when you're trying to get to closing.
That's right.
So just disclose whatever needs to be done. Either disclose it or have it fixed before.
Right.
That's all we're asking.
And you can always write down, if you don't really know, if you're a seller of a home and you don't know about, there's a question in there, you don't know what it means, you can always check. You don't know. It's fine. You don't have to. You don't
know, and any agent will go over it with you line by line to help you just go over the whole process. So we've talked a little bit about inspecting new homes, inspecting homes before they go on the market. Let's talk a little bit about a hot topic: radon gases.
Yeah. Well, radon. Okay, so let me start with what it is. I have a little speech. Radon gas is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that comes out of the ground and gets into the basements, essentially, of some homes. Prolonged exposure to very high levels of radon gas causes lung disease similar to lung cancer. It's often compared to smoking. Certain radon levels are compared to how many packs you smoke a week or whatever. It's often compared to that. But it's a real problem. It's very common in the Northeast, first of all, because we have basements in the Northeast. You know, the rest of the country doesn't have much for basements. But these underground structures that we call basements are ripe for the introduction of radon gas from the soil that they're built into. If you end up finishing off your basement, especially, or putting children down there in bedrooms for 14 years, it can be a very serious problem. The good news is it's cheap to fix. The average cost to fix radon in a house, and I won't bore you with the gory details, is in the neighborhood of $1,200 to $1,600. So why suffer with it or worry about it when you can simply have it tested for 150 bucks and know where you stand and know what you've got?
So how does one test for radon?
Well, I happen to have with me here,
right
Steve.
here.
As a matter of fact, yeah, because we're testing the studio. This is this is my little radon machine. It's not mine. I actually lease these machines from this company called Radolink.
And how does this work?
And so we plug this. We put this in your basement. We plug it in. There are certain protocols. We want to make sure the house has been kind of closed up for a while. You plug it into an outlet. It has to be a certain height off the floor and a certain distance from the foundation, et cetera, et cetera. We have all these little rules. And we run this thing for 48 hours. That's the Environmental Protection Agency requirement for radon testing, is a 48-hour test. And so we leave it there for 48 hours. All radon tests, no matter what version of testing you use, this is just one type of testing, all radon tests require 48 hours in the building. So we come back and pick it up 48 hours later or so, and we plug it into a phone line. It uploads the raw data to a laboratory in Atlanta, where the results are converted into plain English. They are looked at by a radon expert to certify they're okay, and then they're emailed to the client, who may be the homeowner or the buyer or whoever, and to me, and I look at them too. If you have a level that's over 4.0, that's the magic number, 4.0.
4.0 is the magic number.
The magic number. Any level over 4.0 really should be mitigated.
Mitigated after 4.0,
yeah.
okay.
Mitigation is the magic word. Remediation, mitigation, whatever you want to call it. And there are contractors all over, we've seen them all, who specialize in this job. And they come out and assuming your level is high, they come out and they pop this radon mitigation system in and your level is low. We test it again and verify that it's low, simple as that. But yeah.
And Chris has been kind enough to actually provide me with a copy of what a test looks like as to what the sellers would be receiving.
Right.
And we'll have that on our Facebook page so people can take a look at that as what they'd be getting. And as long as it's
very self-explanatory.
4.0 or under, you're good.
Yep.
But now what if it was like 1.0? You could still put it in just to be on the safe side.
Well, yes. I mean, we do, yeah, you know, and we have people that, and I'm not sure this is, I wouldn't say this is a bad idea because it's not expensive. But yeah, people with 3.8, 3.9, you know, whatever, very close to 4 will often put a radon mitigation system in because it does fluctuate. It's higher in the winter, it's lower in the summer, you know, so.
So it does fluctuate with the season as
well. It
well.
does fluctuate a little bit, not much.
Now, Chris, we talked a little bit about inspecting air conditioning systems, cooling systems, heating systems, oil tanks. What about solar? Solar panels. Is that something new with home inspectors that's getting more and more popular? Yeah,
the thing, well, it should be said right off the bat that solar systems are not part of our inspection.
Okay.
They are not required to be inspected by the regulations of the state. So most inspectors don't really inspect them. But I got to tell you, I know a little bit about them. I've seen them for years. They were big back in the early 80s in the Jimmy Carter years. There was a lot of tax rebates for solar installations. I got to say, I've never seen a solar project from those days that was actually functioning properly or working on the day of the inspection. Either because it was raining or just cloudy, or there's snow on the panels or whatever. It's just so funny, but I've just never really seen one that was actually cranking away, giving the owner good hot water or whatever. It's never actually happened
to come back in August.
Yeah, I guess. Kind of interesting. But yeah, we're not required, as home inspectors, we're not really required to inspect solar systems. I would farm that out to somebody in the business.
Sure. Now, we've talked a little bit about everything that you're finding. Now, what if there are significant things such as rot, things that need to be repaired in the home? Do you have a list of contractors that you work with?
I actually do. The regulations are a little ambiguous about recommending contractors, but it's always been my feeling that if you have a contractor that you trust and you like and who's reasonable, then I think it's fine to recommend them. And people, buyers want to know. Half my buyers are from out of town. They don't even know where to start. Yep.
Most real estate firms as well have what's called a source book, and they can give you 3 to 4 references for everybody that you're looking for. Right. Chris, how would somebody get in touch with you in order to do a home inspection?
Well, I have a website, homesinspectors.com, homesinspectors.com, and I have a phone number that we've used since 1967, 617-923-2300. But you search for me online, you'll get to my website and it's all there. And I'm one of the few inspectors that has office staff. A lot of inspectors, when you call them, you're getting their cell phone, they're on a job, whatever, they're being interrupted. I actually have an office staff that take your appointment, answer any questions that you have.
Wonderful.
Yeah, she's very informative.
Again, we have Christopher Monahan with National Home Inspection Services of New England, 617-923-2300. Chris's information will be on our Facebook page at Another Home Sold. Chris, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Steve.
This is very educational. Thanks so much. Don't go away, because next we're going to be joining Bobby Morganstern, and we're going to be looking at a new construction project on Marshall Road here in Wellesley. We're going to go see 45 Marshall Road here, a new construction with Bobby Morganstern from Coldwell-Banker. Bobby, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Bobby, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I have been a Wellesley resident for 25 years. My husband and I moved here, having spent a short period of time in Brookline and before that in New York City. We've raised 2 children here. They went straight through the Wellesley Public Schools. One child, Leah, is a graduate of Ithaca College and working for ESPN in Connecticut. And my son, Max, is a sophomore at Tulane University.
Great, so 25 years, you're practically a Wellesley native.
Almost.
Great. Well, welcome to the show. Let's talk about 45 Marshall Road, this new construction spec house. First of all, tell me, who was the builder here?
The builder is Wellesley Building Associates. That's Vin Trubiani and Barton Previs, and they have been building in Wellesley for many years. Vin's father started the business a generation ago.
And both these guys still live in Wellesley now?
Both still live in Wellesley, raised their families here, and will be here forever.
And now this is Marshall Road, which is in the Generals section of town over by Morse's Pond, which is an excellent area.
Yes, it's actually called the Woodlands. And the Woodlands is a wonderful neighborhood, convenient to town, the train, schools, and all the nice walking paths and Morse's Pond.
And how many square feet?
It's 4,500 square feet, including the lower level, which is completely finished.
So let's take us through this house.
When we enter the house, we have the living room to the left, which features a bow window, nice ceiling heights, and enters right into the dining room with a big opening. So when you do the holidays, you can really expand.
It's really a flow.
The moldings in the dining room are dental molding in addition to your standard 3-piece molding. And it has a nice window on the side, which gives great light and enters right into the kitchen.
Now, I was in this house yesterday for the broker's tour, and I was really blown away by this kitchen and family room. Kitchen is 18 by 17, family room is 18 by 19, and the kitchen, for a spec house, I don't think you could design a kitchen that could be more suitable for a variety of people. More counter space than I've ever seen in a home.
It really has a nice working island in the center and cabinets and countertops on 3 sides.
And off the family room is a great study office, which is an excellent idea.
Well, everybody's asked for it, and we did it. And the back of the house where the study is north facing, so we did put extra transom lights, extra windows at the top, so that we could get as much light into that room as we could. It's great.
Now, going upstairs, you get 4 bedrooms upstairs and 2 full baths. And one of the nice parts...
3 full baths.
3 full baths, excuse me, in this laundry room. And I've seen in other buildings that they've done, the laundry room has a full sink in it, which is a great idea.
Yes, this one has a full sink plus countertop space, as well as both wall cabinets and a vanity triple cabinet on the base.
It's great. We're doing full family with lots of laundry going on, lots of sports equipment up there. Another nice feature in this house that I noticed yesterday was the closets. They're not standard. They are actually custom closets.
Yes, he really did a great job of putting in as much closet space as we could. And we have nice sized bedrooms too, don't get me wrong. But the closets are really ample and they're all well outfitted.
Beautifully outfitted. Granite throughout the house on all the countertops as well as in the bathrooms, correct?
Yes, the master has marble actually.
Okay. That's right, that's right. Gorgeous. Double sinks, tub and shower.
Tub and shower. Spa tub and shower.
Spa tub and shower. Awesome. Now, down in the basement, I'm seeing, first of all, how high were the ceilings down there?
I think they're over 8 feet.
Yeah, they're quite high, and because it did not seem like you were in a closed-up basement. Full bathroom, which is always nice to see down there as well.
And beautiful tile work as well.
Yep.
And the basement has full dugout windows on the west side, so you get great light in the afternoon in the basement. And although it still is lower level, these windows really make a difference. It's not your grandma's basement anymore.
No, it's not. It's nice high ceilings and a lot of light. I remember that with the full basement with a very high ceiling. So Bobby, we're looking at 45 Marshall Road. We've got 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 2-car garage. How many fireplaces?
Just 1 fireplace. It's gas serviced, and it's in the family room, so when you're working at your island in the kitchen, you can look at the fireplace, you can mount your TV above it, and it's just beautiful surround. There's beautiful detail in the ceiling in the family room, and again, it's north facing. It has the extra transom windows, and it has a deck off, a French door out to a deck, and beautiful yard. It's 15,400 square feet of yard in a 10,000 zone, which gives you a lot of level play space.
That's very nice. Bobby, how would somebody get into Marshall Road to take a look at this? How do they get in touch with you?
You can easily get into it. The house is complete, so it's ready for someone who wants to be in for the holidays. You can call me. My number is 617-686-8619, or you can call the Coldwell-Banker office. And it's a great home, and it's ready for you.